In relationships, people get to that point where they get a bit desperate. Sometimes it could be the male or it could be the female. For example, when you're at a point in your relationship, you feel as if nothing is happening. There's a tendency for you get tempted to try to do something to push the relationship forward. For example, if you want to get married, you say, okay, if I do something or I do the other, I will get married to that person. I met someone, we were friends many years ago, and he liked me, but we never dated. And he really wanted us to date. So at that point, he was planning to relocate to go to Canada. So he used it as, I wouldn't say consciously, but maybe subconsciously, he used it as a bait. He told me that if we get engaged, that we'll now apply for a fiance visa to go to Canada. And yes, it looked tempting at that time, but I did not agree. And a friend of mine said I was very stupid for not agreeing, that I would have agreed. And when we get to Canada, I will part ways with him. I didn't have the heart to do that. But in some cases, some people would have done it, and the results will usually be disastrous. So, are you in a relationship? Especially if you're a woman, are you in that relationship and you really want the guy, you're desperate to keep the guy, you see that his eye is not really for you, his eyes are like everywhere, he's behaving funny, and you're trying to do something desperate to get him to stay with you or to get married to you. One thing that some women do is they try to get pregnant. As much as having a child is one of the most beautiful things that you can do as a human being, do not have a child. I repeat, do not have a child or do not get pregnant because you think that you will make the man stay with you and get married to you. That is not the right thing to do. That is definitely not the right thing to do. A relationship should evolve naturally. I know nowadays people are in a hurry. When you're in a relationship, you want to go all the way, you want to do everything immediately. But sometimes it's good to there's a reason why relationships are in stages. When you meet someone, you have a long time. If you get married to that person, you have a long time to become intimate. You have a long time to get to know the person intimately. When I say intimately, you understand what I'm saying, a physical relationship. So why don't you use that time of courtship to understand the person? Why don't you use that time of courtship to ask relevant questions, and the person to also has the opportunity to ask relevant questions. You have the opportunity to really observe that person. Once you start going intimate, it may be more difficult to observe that person. Even in cases where both parties they really, really loved each other, pregnancy is always a complication. They may eventually get married, but you see that they have it's just like they hurried up on stage. And so when they're in a marriage, they now use that time that they would have used in courtship. They now use that time to start learning about things. And then it might be a bit clumsy because they already have children to consider. So are you thinking of getting pregnant just to make someone propose to you? Please don't do it. You are better than that. Even if you don't get married to this particular person, you are so precious. There's someone that you will get married to. Someone is out there. It doesn't matter how old you are. Don't listen to people. Don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure. Marriage is supposed to be enjoyed. It's not something you endure. So it's a long-term thing. So think about it properly and don't do it. I repeat, don't do it.